What do you call deep fried chunks of Robin? Tater tots.
Because it's Thursday.
Hello, Watchtower Database, and welcome back to The Vanishing Point. I hope you guys missed me as much as I missed you over this break. There was not a day that went by that I was not thinking about you guys, and I know that's a fact because I have been working on ideas for this show, drafts for scripts for the other show, just so much stuff. And with all of that stuff I've been working on, I've also been watching Titans. Of course, recently the Jason Todd episode came out, and so far it is my absolute favorite of the series. I started episode 1 not really sure if it was gonna be good. I did a whole video on my thoughts on that over on my personal channel, but since then it's only been getting better and better. Doom Patrol, oh my god. The reason I'm saying all of this right now though is because recently I've seen a lot of people questioning if Jason Todd possibly existed in the DCAU. Honestly, this never really crossed my mind as a possibility. From the get-go, the producers on the new Batman Adventures said that Tim Drake was an amalgamation of Jason Todd and Tim from the comics. So I just figured, Jason's not really there. They're the same. It's the same Robin. We get a Jason Todd-esque intro, we get a Jason Todd-esque outro. Tides come in, tides come out. You can't explain that. I guess Tim's come in. You know, memes. But there were some of you who brought evidence to me, and so today we're gonna go over that and see if this theory holds water. Now, the earliest piece of evidence in the DCAU would be this line from Batman.
Robin, look out. Joker's got a bomb!
Now, this is seemingly a tribute to Jason's demise in Batman number 428, part of the Death in the Family story arc. However, if this were a reference to something that did happen in the DCAU's history, and not just the result of Batman hallucinating, this means that both Jason and the Joker would have had to have been active before Dick ever became Robin. Now, I don't really think that this is possible. As we've discussed multiple times before on the channel, Dick leaves the Bat family in 1997 after he graduates, meaning he likely begins college 4 years earlier in 1993, where he would have been about 18 years old. In Robin's Reckoning, we're told that he's either 10 or 9, depending on which one of the ending credits you choose to believe. This means that he would have become Bruce's ward sometime between, quick maths, 1984 to 1985-ish. Joker, on the other hand, we have a more concrete date for when he became active. As we know from Beware the Creeper, he became active 7 years before
This very night.
the new Batman Adventures, starting in 1999 because of the 2-year gap in the Lost Years, means that the earliest that Joker could have become active is then 1992. So with Joker becoming active after Dick becomes Robin, it seems that that line about Joker having a bomb isn't really anything to do with Jason in this universe's history. So if Jason Todd wasn't the first Robin in the DCAU, what about the second Robin? I know what you guys are thinking. Tim is obviously the second Robin. We see it in the shows. We see Dick and then Tim. But let me stop you for a second. You know that Robin suit that's just there when Tim shows up in the Batcave? Here it is. No one's ever worn it before, and it's an obvious reference to the Jason Todd memorial. Put them up. Compare them. Boom. Boom. Which one's which? I won't know after this is edited. Where'd that come from? Well, originally I thought that much like Batman's design, it was the Robin design, just kind of retweaked for this series, and it was the same costume. After all, I mean, look at the other flashbacks from this show. Despite happening during the BTAS era, Batman is still in the new Batman Adventures suit in Mad Love, as well as in Old Wounds, but oh wait, Dick isn't wearing, Dick is in the same outfit. In that episode, we do only see Dick remove his cape and his mask. Every time, I've shot this video already, and last time I kept wanting to call it goggles, and this time I wanted to call it goggles again. So I paused before saying mask because my brain said goggles, but I said they're not goggles. So maybe Bruce just needed a new suit put together to put on display down there to remind him of Dick. But that doesn't seem to be the case either, because as we see in the Lost Years, Dick actually returns to the Batcave and leaves his suit there. So if Bruce has the original suit and then a new suit is there at the start of the new Batman adventures, then does this mean that perhaps he needed to make a new suit for a new Robin? This just doesn't seem very likely. In the run of the Lost Years, we see a year to the day after Dick has left, and Bruce is still just sitting around moping in Wayne Manor, kind of pensive about Dick having left. Had Bruce gotten a new Robin, I don't think he would be really acting this way. But this still does leave a year and a half between that scene and the start of the new Batman adventures. But looking in Gotham Adventures number 4, which has a huge flashback story set in Lost Years time, we see Bruce working still without a Robin. This was at least a year before the start of TNBA, so this would put it even further into 1998 and closing the gap even further. So really, it just doesn't seem like a second Robin existing in the Lost Years time would be a thing. There's a second Robin. He's not there. He's Tim. Tim is the second Robin. I know there still may be some naysayers who really want Jason to have existed, who say, yeah, but a lot can happen in a year's time. And sure, but if we flip further through the Lost Years, we see that Tim calls this costume the original Robin costume. In the cartoon, he calls it the real Robin costume. Oddly enough though, the only other Robin costume we see Dick wearing prior to B-Task is this beautiful one from Batman Adventures Volume 2. So what gives? There are a couple possibilities. We know that Tim is 13 years old when he joins the Bat family. And as we stated before, Dick was 9 or 10 when he was adopted by Bruce. And Batman Adventures tells us that he was trained for 6 to 7 years. So Dick was 15 to 17 before actually becoming Robin. So maybe this is just a suit he used while training and we never see it. Or perhaps this is the same suit that we see in that flashback. After all, we do know that Batman likes to sew things up.
I see you sewed up the bullet holes.
So as cool as it would have been to see Jason Todd in the DCAU to flesh out this world's history a little bit more, it just doesn't seem like it was likely to happen at all anywhere. We knocked out the before, we knocked out the in the middle, and he doesn't have any, there's no Robins after Return of the Joker. There's none. So that's that. With all that being said today, my question for you to leave your answers down under in the Australia box is, what are you guys thinking of Titans so far? At the start of the video, I was just oozing praise, but there's been some missteps as well. So I'd love to hear, from you guys. Now that the fun part of the video is done, I wanted to be real with you guys for a minute. I just recently found out a couple of months ago, a mentor of mine passed away. As I've made clear in the past on this channel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe holds a very large piece of my heart, and it helped me get through some tough times. When I was younger, a lot of tough times. And in the run up to the first Avengers movie, I was looking for viewing orders to watch the already released movies in that universe, and came across this site called the Comic Board, where a member by the name of D Irish B was creating a timeline, all the different parts of the movies, the tie-in comics, etc., etc., etc. From that, I started trying to clip the movies up myself and watching the movies kind of in that way. As the years went on, he continued to keep up with that with the help of that community. His work is really what inspired me to start looking into the timeline of the DC animated universe. And just without his work, really none of this would be a thing. Vanishing Point wouldn't exist. I probably wouldn't know James and Ted. They probably wouldn't have had any of my research, because my research wouldn't exist. And so fuck if I know what this channel would have looked like, or if it would have even taken off at all. Not to say that I am the epicenter of this channel, but it would have been a very just different beast than what it has become and what it is going to be in the future. And I don't know, it's weird. I'm not good with handling death. I don't think anybody is. I don't think our minds are really made to process it. The weird thing is, like, I wouldn't say that we were friends. We had conversations from time to time, and we were actually we were in talks to, once I had, the whole DCAU timeline done and finished up, he was going to publish it on his website, thetimelinesite.com. I'll have James drop a link to it in the description, so you guys can kind of look and see really how just committed he was to this stuff. Then things just started kind of blowing up here, and I just really paid less attention to that site. And I opened it the other day, and come to find out, DIB or David O'Neill is his real name. Come to find out, a couple months ago, he passed away from a blood clot in his lung, and he's not here anymore. And I don't know. I don't know what to really what to really say. What to give you guys as tools to handle something like this. Really, I guess just make sure the people in your life know how much you care about them. And even if you've told them, like, just stop in and remind them every now and then, because there's always a possibility that that one day they'll be gone. David and I weren't close, but he's very responsible for who I've become. It's just such a bizarre thing to think about. I don't know. I'm sorry to leave you guys on such a down note, but just let people know you love them. That all being said, I love you guys. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be doing this over the past year. And hopefully we'll still be doing it for many years to come. I've been Matty Washburn. This has been The Vanishing Point. We'll continue to stay those things so long as you continue to stay you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.